number. And so fast forward to when 2008 hit.
Before I went to enter into bankruptcy, had to file bankruptcy, I had 7 properties in 11 units. I had more tenants not paying me rent than rent.
Exactly. Yep.
So I was using my credit
Right.
to buy the properties, to rehab the properties. I was using the credit cards. And at that time, you can buy the properties. I used my credit card to rehab them, and then I would refinance and pay the credit cards off, rinse and repeat. Well, when '08 hit, it was like overnight. They stopped lending.
Yeah.
And I had about $60,000-$70,000 worth of credit card
Wow.
debt
Mm-hmm.
because I had just purchased the last property and I was rehabbing it.
Mm-hmm.
And overnight, before I could refinance and pay the credit cards back, they stopped lending. I mean, I you remember how it was just like they turned off the faucet,
Right.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I was stuck with all of that credit card debt.
So how did you use your know-how to make that to fix that?
Okay. Well, I knew now, even though the crash happened in '08, I did not feel the effects until to 2012,
Wow.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I was able to really hold on to 2012. And that,
You were holding on by a hair.
whoa, I lost many nails trying to hold on, right? so, but what I never realized how much of a strategist I was back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I look back, I was like, oh, okay. Um, what I did, I knew it was coming because unless something, suddenly happens like a health issue or death, we kind of know we're headed for trouble. You
Right.
know what I mean? We kind of know things are not, the things are about to fall apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I was that it was about to get rough. I was almost through a 6-figure savings, trying to pay everything off,
Okay.
trying to negotiate with creditors that I had never missed a payment
Mm-hmm.
since I had credit at the age of 19 and I was in my 40s
Okay.
when I started, you
Did
know,
you
um,
find that that was looked at as a plus, or didn't it
no,
matter?
no. And I
Wow.
could honestly, yeah, when I, even with my credit repair clients at the time, and they would tell me how they felt when they couldn't, get credit or they would call their creditors and ask for, help, and the creditors would not help them. I
Right.
could never relate, and I never pretended like I could relate. I didn't want to insult anyone and minimize how they were feeling because I
Exactly.
never, as an adult, I never had credit issues up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But now I could definitely understand how they felt because even with my skills over the years, I call them never miss the payment. What their so-called ideal
Customer.
customer, right?
Right.
I called them and I would get so frustrated. I was like, they're treating me like I never made a payment on time. Not that I never missed one.
Right.
They were treating me like anyone else. And I'm like, listen, and I'm going through a 6-figure savings, trying to keep everything afloat and praying like everyone else that it'll turn around, and because I didn't want to not pay.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not care.
They didn't care. Exactly.
They
Right.
did not care.
But
So,
what was the final kind of I guess straw that broke the camel's back that you said, "Oops, I think I better file Chapter 13."
um, when I decided I was not going to drain my last 25,000.
Uh,
I was down to my last
so the, the,
25,000.
the six figures went down to five
Oh,
figures at 25, and you said, "Oh, wait a minute, let me repair myself and
yeah.
reset."
Let me stop. And the advice I was giving other people, I was not following,
Right.
in a sense, because I was like, you do not just use all of your cash to try to get, and I realized that the economy was not turning around.
Hmm.
So I sat down with my um, bankruptcy attorney in 2012. I sat down with her and I said, Jacqueline, I'm going to have to eventually file bankruptcy. It's not a
Hmm.
matter if, it's a matter of when.
Hmm.
However, I'm trying to kind of get things situated,
Hmm. You were
and see
trying
if
to
I
be
can.
strategic.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
Talk to,
Yep.
get loans, my mortgage is modified, get a lot of things in place before I have to file.
Okay.
And I'll come to you when I get there. And what do I need to do right now? And this is the way I think, and it helped me because it helped me get through my bankruptcy. And I said to her, if I had to file right now, worst case scenario,
Hmm.
would my bankruptcy be approved? Because she was like, and at that time, all my houses were upside down,
Oh
right?
wow. Hmm.
All of them. And, but my goal was to keep them,
Excellent.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what worst case scenario? Would I be approved right now to keep all of my houses? And at that point, and now remember, following 2012, we had this conversation. And she said, yes, you would be approved. However, you would need to do X, Y, and Z because you didn't have enough income to sustain the repayment. Because she
Right.
explained to me I was like, okay. I said, well, we're going to push this down the road, as much as I can until, until I finish trying to negotiate and get into position that if I had to, when I had to file, it would be approved.
Wonderful.
Well,
That's great.
fast forward,
Mm-hmm.
I and every year I would check in with Jacqueline. I would send her a lot of clients, and she was like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Not yet. I'm still working with the creditors and everything. I will see you." Well, at the end of, I did not file my bankruptcy until 2016. I
Wow.
had pushed it down the road that far, but I also needed a strategy because she explained to me the odds of completing a 13,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which was very low. I don't know when she said the numbers of people succeeding. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be prepared. And when I had to file, I was.
So
I
after
t-
yeah,
Mhm.
you said that you were prepared. What were the things that you did to get prepared to lead up to?
I worked with the creditors who wanted to work with me as far as settling my debt with them, so I didn't have to include it in the bankruptcy.
Ah, I see.
Um, and the mortgage companies who did not want to modify the loan because they played during that time, they played a lot with homeowners.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, you
Sure.
know, uh, yes, a lot of homeowners, and they didn't play fair. You
Right.
know, and so the ones that did not modify me, that I qualified for modification, um, I knew I was going to have to roll it over into the bankruptcy in order to save it. But I also knew that I was going to, with the amount of properties that I owned, there was going to be no way that I could handle those type of repairs and things of that nature, even within the bankruptcy, and I don't have credit.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually teamed up with my mother and I explained to her that, hey, listen. But by then I had already stopped paying my credit cards for the ones who didn't want to accept it.
Right.
And ironically, because I had kicked the can down the road so long,
Mm-hmm.
my credit cards all the credit card companies, they couldn't sue me anyway because it was out of statute of limitation for the state of New Jersey. So,
That's right. The statute of
so
limitations is
6 years,
2 years.
right? 6 years. I had kicked it down the road from the last time they didn't want to negotiate. So, but I knew I was going to need credit,
Right.
because there was no way to have the, I know what it took to maintain those properties. And my mother always had excellent credit. She still does. But she understood I didn't destroy my credit, trips she understood that, the situation. And it was for majority of my debt was because of the houses.
Right. So
And
those were kind of like more like business debts than
exactly,
even
exactly.
though they were your personal cards. So then what did you, once you finally did file and you kind of worked your way through it, how did you get to the end of that and were able to get from point A to point B, getting it back up to a 700 credit score? That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Because of my skills, and and I have been doing credit since '93. I always laugh at people because I said back then, we didn't have social media, so we had to get down with the get down. We had to fight with, you had to be creative back
There you
then.
go. You had to be creative.
You had to be creative, right? And because of that creativity, I had to dig deep back in it. And that's what I started my credit repair business again, because I was like, once I was approved for the bankruptcy, I was like, I never worried about my credit. I was like, wait a minute, I'm really good at credit repair. I can repair. I'm not worried about my credit. I said, matter of fact, there's going to be a lot of people like me, unfortunately, in this economy, what's going on.
Right.
And they're going to need credit repair. So I need to look for clients like myself, real estate investors who, got hit with the crash. And this could be another business. In the meanwhile, I had to get refreshed and renewed because I hadn't really done credit repair since 2000. I would occasionally do it for family. So I had to get familiar, and I became familiar with YouTube University,
Yes.
And once I got in my bankruptcy, and I was like, oh, okay. And so with the things I knew from experience, and with the new things, the laws getting updated and everything, I combined them both. And I was like, all right, I'm going to repair my credit while I'm in the bankruptcy.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I tread it lightly, and I say that with caution. I tread it lightly because I did not want anything that I do to jeopardize my bankruptcy. So things that I know that I could do, I did with my credit. And once with the pandemic coming along, I was like so into, okay, let me concentrate on credit. And my bankruptcy had to be extended another 2 years.
Yeah, that was only because of the pandemic.
Only because of the pandemic. And so it was a blessing and a curse because my payments were lower. My payments was lower. And on top of it, it's once I would come out in 2 years, whether I touch my credit or not, it was going to be cleaned up on its own because it's only supposed to stay on for Chapter 13, 7 yeyears from the filing date. So the extension was going to give me 7 years. so not only was I going to come out of my, bankruptcy, right? My credit, if I had not touched it, the bankruptcy would have had to drop off anyway. But I actually sat down and strategically came out of my bankruptcy early.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Sat down with my bankruptcy attorney, and we put together a plan for me to come out early because I was like, I need to fix my credit. I need to, with all the success I was having with my clients, when they get discouraged, they were like, oh, it's moving slow. Cause I always tell people, you didn't destroy it overnight. It's going to take time. The hardest part about credit repair, getting your credit together, is patience.
Right.
So it's going to take time. And I would say to them, how do you think I feel? I'm fixing your bankruptcies and I can't even touch mine. I have to wait another 2 years, 3 years or something like that. But fortunately, I was able to actually start to repair my credit. Once I realized I was going to come out of my bankruptcy, pay my bankruptcy off early, a year before I started repairing my credit, getting it ready. So when I was discharged, I can go full steam ahead. I started as I was learning when the pandemic came. I also was learning about not only the new things in credit repair, but I learned about business credit. And I could not wait to apply. I was like, oh, I wish I would have known that back then. And so when it was my turn, I was really ready to go. And I developed my banking relationships because I knew I was going to need them, especially coming out of a bankruptcy. And I just started putting everything strategically in play.
So my podcast, I always ask my guests, which things would you motivate, inspire, and educate my audience about? So your whole story is really inspiring. How you've managed to negotiate and manipulate the credit system. It's because
it's a game. It's a game.
And that I think that's great because that's how you looked at it. It's like you're playing chess with the credit bureaus and the creditors.
Yes.
So give me one thing that would educate the people.
In reference to credit?
Yes.
Yes. The first thing you need to know is the first thing you should go to is to see what your credit looks like, where you're at today. Get a copy of all 3 of your credit reports, right? And see where you're starting from.
Okay.
That's right. Educate yourself, right? You got to know what the starting point, right?
And then how would you motivate
them? To let them know, regardless of where they're at right now,
where they're starting,
where they're starting from, it's your new beginning. It's a starting point,
right?
And all you have to with all of the education now, the social media, the internet, they can go books, right? You can find enough information. Actually, I think it's too much. Sometimes it's too much information, right? You can find enough information that you can do it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to, take the first step. Know where you look at your reports, see what's going on there. Mm-hmm. Go on YouTube University.
That's what you said.
Go to YouTube University. Now you're going to be overwhelmed. Understand, you're probably going to be overwhelmed. However, you pick and choose. You start at one section at a time, and you learn it and you put it into action. Just take action. Just don't look at, YouTube University, read books, and don't apply it.
Okay, so that's your point right there. To me, that's your inspiration point right there. Mm-hmm. Don't just get on there and get all this information and not use it, because it really is worthless if you know a thing and then you don't apply it.
Definitely.
So Ms. Sheila, how can my people get in touch with you?
They can
credit solutions.
Contact me at 272-7417, or they can go to my website. Well, they can email me, pardon me, at info at nbcreditsolutions.nj.com.
Okay, great. I love it. I love it. I love it. This woman has done, she's been superwoman with the credit repair. Thank you so much for your time and coming in to talk with
So
my
welcome.
audience.
Just go forward. Don't let anything stop you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.